Finding your passion. The biggest thing that we face in our lives is to decide, do we do something that just makes us a bunch of money, or do we actually pursue our God-given passion? I think every day you should focus on your blessings and not your misfortunes. You should focus on your strengths and not your weaknesses. You should be yourself and don't wait for the approval of others. But most importantly, you got to have a positive and humble mindset no matter what situation you're in. Count your blessings and not your problems, and you will realize how beautiful your life truly is. I was just thinking about this quote by Troy Amdahl, and I think so many of us are just stuck in a bad relationship. We are stuck at this job that we hate, an abusive boyfriend, if you have one, or girlfriend. And if there's no passion in your life, there will be no magic. We all face a dark place in our life at some point. Maybe you don't realize it, but then it's truly in the dark places of our lives that we grow. And if you don't know what you hate, and if you aren't miserable at times, how do you really know the true meaning of happiness? I mean, maybe you're stuck at a job you hate, or you feel like you have no real friends who really know you or understand you, and it's not your fault. I sometimes think this is the universe's way of telling you that maybe this is not the path that you were meant to be on. Like, I'm looking at you right here, and I think you were meant to do greater things. Many of us end up in what I like to call the dark place. This is the place where you feel buried in fear, debt, anxiety, hatred. This is the lonely, sad place for most of us. We feel we all have gifts, but we don't know how to use them. We don't know how to cultivate them. We don't know how to make our gift, shown to the universe, so that way the universe rewards us and people are attracted to our gifts. Got to pay attention to what the universe is telling you. This is the sign that this life wasn't meant for you. You are supposed to be better. If you can wake up and have the consciousness that your life can get better, it truly will. Think of yourself like a seed. I remember a famous man once said, I think it was Steve Harvey when I met him, Steve Harvey, right? And he goes, when you plant a seed, it's buried in the dark. That seed is probably going to feel very lonely, buried much like you do in fear and darkness. However, it's watered when it's underground, and it fights to make it to the light and sprout. And the nutrients that it absorbs causes it to become a plant. I mean, think about that for a second, right? I mean, I'm just thinking out loud to myself here, and you're like, hey, maybe you feel like that. You feel like a seed underground in the dark. You might feel hopeless, but one day you will discover your true passion in life, and you will sprout like that seed that I'm telling you about. You see, the seed needs fertilizer to grow. I mean, to get to its full potential, it needs fertilizer. You ever thought about the toxic people in your life, or maybe the fertilizer in your life? You ever thought about that you could either be buried by the fertilizer, or you can use it as nutrients that will provide you to grow? Think about the time when people told you you couldn't do something. People hated on you. People mocked you. People made fun of you, said your relationship wouldn't last, your dreams couldn't really happen, Man, I'm thirsty just thinking about that. Fertilizer right here. Beautiful tea. Even the tea came from fertilizer. Think about that. The beautiful tea came because it was fertilized. The ugly dirt that was thrown at it, it absorbed it and grew into something more beautiful and better. In this case, tastier. You see, I think in life you can either be buried by the fertilizer, or you can use the nutrition that it provides you to grow. If you took a seed and you sterilized it and you just left it on the counter, it would never grow to its full potential. Because see, you got to have some dirt thrown at you in life. Just like that seed, it only grows when it's planted. Maybe you should start thinking of yourself as being planted right now. I mean, maybe you're buried deep underground, and that's what the negativity is. People that are telling you can't do something, all the negativity is really, just a sign that your haters, your frenemies, everybody that uses you, they're just your fertilizer. What if you change that perception, and next time somebody says you aren't capable of doing something, it gave you the motivation to do much better? What if you started thinking of all of these people as fertilizing your dreams? Like, think of that, right? Think about that CEO that became really rich. Or think about the actor or that broke musician that just made it, or somebody that makes a lot of money. I bet they had a lot of fertilizer thrown at them. People said they couldn't do it. People said they couldn't get from here to there. People said they couldn't make that money. People said they would never make it on TV. People said that, your movie wouldn't be great. People said you couldn't actually quit your dirty, boring job and just pack everything, move out west and make it, because you had fertilizer thrown at you. You see, everybody at some point in their life has fertilizer. When the bank tells you no, that's fertilizer. That's the fertilizer being thrown at you saying you can't get this money. And so now you got to go out and knock on more doors and get that money. Because they said you couldn't, you're going to try to get twice as much money and then say that you did it. I mean, I know when I started my first company, I was met with a lot of skepticism. And then I raised my first amount of money. And I could have done anything with that money. You know what I mean? I could have 10x, 20x, 30x it. And that wouldn't have happened for me to even get that money, to get the chance at 10x, 20x, 30x, and take that risk to succeed, if people didn't not believe in me. You see, it's because people tell you things that your life has to be mediocre that I wanted my life to be extraordinary. Everything in life is perception. So anytime you get energy is just energy. You can turn that into fertilizer and you can catalyze it to reach new heights. Just think of yourself like an oak tree. You're just not planted yet. One thing that you do control in your life is your mind and your perception. In every negative situation, I promise you, there's an opportunity if you look for it. The next time you see somebody that hates on you or criticizes you, try dealing with them through empathy. I mean, think about how much hurt somebody has to be in to actually throw dirt on you. I mean, they're giving you their dirt. They're giving you their fuel. Dirty gasoline is money. It makes your expensive car run. But you can't drink gasoline. See, it's just a form of energy. If somebody gave you a bunch of gasoline, if they just threw it at you, it's pointless if it's on the ground. If they give it to you, if you were to capture that gasoline that falls on the ground, it becomes very valuable and you can sell it and make money. You got to start thinking of people that hate on you with a dose of empathy. You got to think, man, they must be really, really hurt. And if you try dealing with them through empathy, every time somebody says something bad about you, just feel bad for them that they are taking time out of their life to criticize you. I mean, you should be humbled by that. That's a blessing. Respond with love and empathy. And most importantly, I think you got to guard your mind. I mean, I'm sitting here going, man, you got a place to sleep tonight. That's a blessing. The fact that you have food to eat today, that's another blessing. The fact that you have the ability to watch this video on a computer or phone or something, that's another blessing. I don't even know you, and I'm telling you all your blessings. And I bet you have 100 more if you really look for them. So start thinking about the fact that every dream in your mind is just a seed of greatness that's within you. You just got to plant that seed, water it, fertilize it, and make it happen. Today is just a new day filled with opportunity and surprises, and it can become anything that you want it to be. And don't forget, it's never too late today to become what you wanted to yesterday. I love you. Stay safe.